Well, hello, parents. This is Mr. Reeves with you today. And I wanted to take this opportunity to go through a presentation I've put together on how my vision for how this time of online math education should work. So I know I've been sending a lot of stuff out, and I'm very thankful to all the parents who've been working really hard to try to work with their students. I know teaching's not an easy thing. Parenting's not an easy thing, and trying to do both of them at the same time can be, well, even more challenging. Challenging squared, we could say. So, again, I just want to let you know that I appreciate the effort you're putting in, and I'm going to do everything I can to make this process as easy for you as possible and as productive for your students so they won't miss out too much by not being able to go to school. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. So the way I'm looking at things, I am seeing that we have five components of online math education. At least I'm going to be using five components of online math education. So the first one is direct instruction. We're going to be talking about all of these a little more specifically, by the way. So right now I'm just going to read them off. The second one, investigation activities and projects, maybe even some games thrown in. The third one, practice. Fourth, feedback. And fifth, assessment. All right, so let's talk about direct instruction. What does that look like? What does direct instruction look like for students who aren't coming to school? All right, well, when I say direct instruction, I'm talking about students receiving instruction from someone else. So one of the best ways for this to happen is through to happen at home anyway. The best way is for them to be in person listening to a really good teacher. But short of that, videos I think are probably our best resource, and those videos can come from several sources. I'll be showing you later. The online textbook has videos. I post these videos on Google Classroom. Most of them are done by a professor named Dr. Berger that the students are familiar with. Another presenter that the students are very familiar with is Mr. Khan from Khan Academy, and he has a lot of really good videos that the students can watch. And there are other instructor created videos, including ones that I have created and will be continuing to create as I have time, or other online video sources. So anytime I have a video that will be helpful to your students, I will be posting those videos on Google Classroom. Just a reminder, if it is coming from the textbook, the student does need to be logged into their textbook account. And I have help resources in Google Classroom. The top part says help, and I've got videos showing you how to get into the online textbook, how to get into Khan Academy, and just a lot of great videos there. So if you ever need help with anything during this time of distance learning, please take a look there and see if I've created a video just for you. All right, so once a week, the plan is right now to have live online instruction. Right now the plan is to meet every Wednesday during our regular school time. And that time will be a time for me to present some things to students, for them to ask questions. And so that will be another way. And then if anyone can get some tutoring, maybe there's brothers or sisters, aunts, uncles, parents, students can tutor each other even virtually, work out some problems. That would be an awesome way for them to get some direct instruction, either a friend or any of those other people I've mentioned, teaching them the material. So the students have to be taught the material through direct instruction of some kind. All right, so this next one, I'll admit right now this is going to be a little bit on the back burner, although I'm going to be filling these in as much as I can. For those of you who are participating in the previous 3 weeks of enrichment and review, every Friday I had something called a Fun Friday, and I would focus on these things, activities and games. Not any projects yet, but Desmos is a great one the students are familiar with. I also did Gizmos, and there's these other sites. By the way, I'm going to make this this slides presentation available for you, so you can actually click on these links if you are interested in seeing some of these sites. But I am going to do some backfilling. I wanted to get up and running with the basics and the most important thing, which is the instruction and the practice. But I also want students to have an opportunity to have some fun doing math and to investigate a little more. So be looking for some of these to be mixed into the learning process. All right, so after they've gotten the direct instruction, they need some practice. And you've all taken math, you know that just sitting and listening is not enough. My favorite question to ask students is, how do you learn math? And the answer that we say together is by doing math. You have to do math to learn math. The practice is the doing of math. Now, there are three primary resources that I'm using. Hopefully by now you're all familiar with iExcel. Again, if you want to know more about any one of these, I have specific videos just on iExcel, just on the online textbook, and just on Khan Academy. So I'm not going to make that part of this presentation, but when it comes to students having the opportunity to practice, what I've done is, for each lesson that corresponds with a textbook lesson, I have put those lessons there, and I've picked out some key problems. So when you're on Google Classroom and you're taking a look and you see those key problems, I'm not saying those are the only problems students need to do. I'm saying these are the types of problems students need to know how to do. They should do those for sure, and then there's more practice on iExcel. Remember, when they're on iExcel, if they get a score of 80, that shows proficiency. 100 is mastery. And then Khan Academy, again, a lot of us traditionally have thought of Khan Academy as videos, but Khan Academy has practice built in. Again, I encourage you to watch the video on Khan Academy and learn how students can not just get direct instruction through videos, but they also get practice. So my last resort for this time of direct learning is going to be some worksheets. I don't want to rule those out, because there just might be something that comes up that is just not available on one of these. But again, I'm not thinking there's going to be a lot of worksheets. If I do provide any worksheets, I will, as practice, I will make sure to provide the answers with some worked out examples for them. And again, there's a lot of other online practice resources. There's a lot of things similar to iExcel or things like that I encourage you, if you're finding that they're not getting enough practice. I don't know how that'd be a problem, but if they're not getting enough practice, to go ahead and find some of those sources. But honestly, between iExcel, the online textbook, and the Khan Academy, they really should have enough practice for each skill. All right, feedback. So they have to get the instruction, they have to practice. Now they have to get feedback, because it doesn't do any good to practice something if you can't be told if you're practicing it correctly. In fact, if you practice incorrectly and don't get feedback, it's going to have a negative effect rather than a positive one. So the great thing about the three main sources of practice, iExcel, Khan Practice, and if you're using the online textbook, not just the PDF version, but actually the interactive textbook, they get immediate feedback. Every time they put in an answer, it's going to tell them if they got it right or if they got it wrong. And again, all three of these sources provide a way for them to see how to do it correctly. So if they get it wrong, it's going to tell them they got it wrong. And if they choose that option, they can see how to do it correctly. And then they'll have a chance to do it again. So they get that feedback. I got to be honest with you, this instant feedback is better than what's in our regular educational system, because usually they have to wait often until the next day to get that feedback. But now they get it immediately. So like I mentioned before, if there's anything they're doing where they can't get that immediate feedback, answer keys and worked out solutions will be provided. If they're choosing to work in the textbook in the traditional fashion, I have posted with every section out of the textbook, I have posted the teacher pages. If you look for those teacher pages, they have the answers. Just so you know, also when we have assessments, they will also be taking those online, and they will get feedback immediately to see what their score is. Now, for those of you who don't know, two types of assessments, formative and summative. Formative means that they're taking the assessment to learn where they're at, and they're going to move forward. They're going to learn from their mistakes. Those skill quizzes that we do, those are formative assessments. I give them 2 opportunities. Hopefully, if they don't do well in the first one, they'll go back over it. I'm even posting some comments and even short videos to the ones that are missed the most. And then they learn from those mistakes and they move forward. All right, so those the skill quizzes, and to a certain extent, the quizzes that will group several skills together are more formative. A summative assessment is assessment at the end. That would be like the unit test. That's when they've had a chance to do practice, they've gotten the feedback, they've had a chance to do some assessments, they've gotten the feedback, formative assessments that is, and gotten the feedback. The summative assessment is, hey, this is it, this is the end, let's find out what you learned in the unit. And finally, personal feedback. I'm spending a lot of time answering emails. Students are certainly welcome to email me. They can post comments and questions on Google Classroom. And of course, in those Zoom meetings, I'll be happy to give them feedback as they ask as well. So there's many opportunities for feedback. Again, if anything, the feedback system is better now than it was before. And finally, assessment. We were just talking a lot about assessment. I probably stole the thunder of this slide. Again, formative assessment, skill quizzes. Every lesson will have a skill quiz and a retake of that skill quiz. So every student will have an opportunity when they finish a lesson to take the skill quiz, to see their result on the skill quiz, to know what they did wrong, and if they choose, they don't have to, but if they choose, they can go back and take a second version of that skill quiz again. And I will take the second score, assuming the second score is higher than the first one. I will also be doing summative assessments using Illuminate. All assessments will be online. Students have done both of these during the regular school year, so they are familiar with skill quizzes. They are also familiar with using Illuminate. I'm also offering this as an opportunity if students would like to show proficiency or mastery through a project. Say they want to create a video or create a slideshow like this one. I am open to students showing their knowledge in a different way. So I'm not going to require any projects or anything like that, but if students, if that appeals to them, creating a video instead of taking a multiple choice quiz, for example, please have them contact me and we can talk through that. Last couple options, performance tasks is just another type of assessment where students give more feedback. They tend to be graded on rubrics. And then there are CASP interim assessments that I'm considering having part of what we do. Not sure if that's going to be the case or not, but if it is, I will be sure to let you know. All right, so like I said, I know this was a quick overview. If you want to know more information about any of these specific things, take a look at the videos that I have created and posted. I'll have them on my website, as well as right now they are located in Google Classroom. Also, feel free to email me, and I hope you've enjoyed this. And again, have a great day. Bye.